Growing old when your loved one is gone, 5 things you must do right away. Dear friends, perhaps there is no loss more heart-wrenching than having to go on living without the one who walked beside us through a lifetime. One morning, you wake up and turn over to find only a cold pillow. The meal that used to be shared by two is now eaten alone, each bite caught in your throat, with no one there to notice. The house remains the same, but the familiar voice is gone. The gentle shuffle of slippers across the floor in the early morning no longer echoes. Many have told me, I'm still alive, but it feels like half of my heart has been taken. I understand that feeling. The passing of a life partner isn't just a goodbye. It alters the very rhythm of daily life. But dear friends, we are still here. We still have days yet to live, joys yet to be rediscovered. And most importantly, we must learn how to carry on. Not to forget, but to live the rest of our lives with meaning. So today I want to sit down with you and share 5 essential things that each of us must do when our beloved is no longer by our side. Not to force strength where there is none, but to help our days feel lighter and bring peace back into the life we still have left to live. 1. Allow yourself to grieve, but don't let yourself fall. I once visited Mrs. Margaret, an elderly woman living in the suburbs of Oregon, USA. Her husband, Mr. Thomas, had passed away 4 years prior. Yet every morning she would wake up early and make 2 cups of coffee, one for herself and one she placed in the same spot where Mr. Thomas used to sit, by the window, soaking in the gentle morning light. I asked her, Mrs. Margaret, do you still miss him a lot? She smiled softly, her eyes reflecting a tender sorrow. How could I ever forget, dear? This coffee isn't for him to drink anymore. It's for my heart, to be allowed to miss him, but in a kind and gentle way. Dear friends, who wouldn't feel pain when losing the person who once meant everything? Some try to bury their grief deep inside, while others pretend to be fine. But truly, there's no need to force ourselves like that. If you're sad, be sad. If you miss them, miss them. If you need to cry, cry. Because only when we honestly face our pain can we begin to move through it. You can write a journal, like Mrs. Margaret still does each night, jotting down stories she never got the chance to share with her late husband. Or maybe listen to an old song you both used to love, look through old photographs, hold on to the clothes they once wore. These seemingly small things become gentle threads that help us hold on to love without drowning in it. Let your heart ache a little, but don't let it break. Because my dear friends, those who've gone ahead, surely they wouldn't want us to live the rest of our lives in sorrow. They would want us to live well, to carry on, and to live meaningfully, not just for ourselves, but for them too. 2. Take control of your life again, starting with finances. I once spoke with Mrs. Helen, who lives in the state of Arizona, USA. She's now in her 70s and her husband passed away 2 years ago. Before that, everything in the household, from utility bills to health insurance, was handled by Mr. Richard. She had only ever been used to cooking, tending the garden, and keeping the home in order. But after he passed, she told me, I felt completely lost, surrounded by paperwork I had never even touched before. One day, she nearly lost her health benefits because she missed the insurance payment deadline. Another time, she couldn't remember the bank password because her husband had always managed everything. These may sound like small issues, but to an elderly woman living alone, they were genuine crises. Dear friends, losing a life partner also means losing the financial support and structure we were used to. But it's exactly at that moment when we must take control of our lives once again. Not through strength, but through initiative. Don't be afraid to reopen your savings books. Check every source of income, whether it's Social Security, pensions, or other support. If you still have small investments, like rental properties or dividends, keep a close eye on them. Make a monthly budget and see what can be reduced while still maintaining comfort. And most importantly, keep a little savings for yourself. Even a small amount can give you freedom. Don't transfer all your assets just because you love your grandchildren. Don't co-sign loans out of politeness. At this age, money isn't for showing off. It's for independence. Independence in every meal, every prescription, every end-of-life decision, without having to ask anyone. Finances aren't everything, but they protect your dignity and sense of self. Dear friends, living alone is already hard enough. Don't let money or the lack of it add more burden to your life. Taking control of your finances is also a way to take back your life, even if it's now lived alone. 3. Take care of your body. Because you are the one still here. Dear friends, when we had someone by our side, it was easier to remember meal times, take our medication, and stay warm when the weather changed. But once we're left alone, those little routines are often forgotten. Meals become careless, sleep becomes restless, and the small aches go unchecked because there's no one urging us to see a doctor. Over time, our bodies begin to wear down silently, burdened by sorrows we haven't even named. But dear friends, the one who left cannot come back, while we, the ones who remain, still need to live, and live well. Not just to get by, but to live with peace in our hearts, to ease the worries of our children and grandchildren, to turn what's left of our memories into a source of strength, not sorrow. In old age, we must cherish our bodies even more. Eat properly, sleep deeply, move your body each day, even if it's just a few simple stretches. Get regular checkups, take medicine on time, and keep warm when the weather shifts. These may seem like small things, but they are ways we show respect and care for the life we still have. And don't forget to care for your spirit too. Keep your heart light. Let go of unnecessary worries. Find joy in the simplest of things, a warm cup of tea, an old song, or a sunny afternoon shining through your window. Dear friends, we've spent our lives taking care of others. Now it's time to care for ourselves. To live the rest of our days kindly, fully, and with no regrets. 4. Open your arms. Make new friends. After a loved one passes, many people quietly shut themselves away. They no longer feel like talking, don't want to socialize, and certainly don't want to trouble their children or grandchildren. Day after day, they circle around old memories until loneliness grows quietly and steadily within. But the human heart, even after all its losses, still needs connection. We still feel. We still need to share. We still have stories left untold. And there's absolutely nothing shameful about that. Starting again doesn't mean replacing someone. It simply means giving yourself a chance to realize that the world still holds kind souls, gentle friendships, and sincere relationships that ask for nothing grand in return. It could be someone you see during your morning walk, someone who sits on the same park bench, someone from a flower arranging class, a senior wellness group, or simply a person willing to listen when you need to pour your heart out. Don't worry if it feels awkward at first. Every connection starts with a smile, a glance, a friendly hello. Even the smallest conversation could be a big step out of that quiet ache called loneliness. You don't need a crowd, just a few people who understand you, a few you can trust. That's enough to ease the emptiness, enough to add a little color, a little warmth to your quieter days. Growing old doesn't mean closing off your heart. On the contrary, it's the time you most deserve gentle, kind, and worry-free connections. 5. Create new habits. So the days don't feel endless. When every moment of the day reminds you of someone who's no longer here, time can feel unbearably long, empty and directionless. The routines you once shared, meals, tea time, a favorite TV show, now stretch into silence that seems to never end. In times like these, what we need most is not to try to forget, but to learn how to live differently, through new habits, through small acts that remind us we're still here and still matter in this life. Start with the smallest things. Wake up a little earlier to feel the morning air. Water your plants, do a few gentle stretches, cook yourself a complete, nourishing meal, try reading a new book, write a few thoughts in a journal, or simply sit still and take deep breaths in the quiet of the afternoon. No one else can truly fill the emptiness inside. Only you can do that. And no one can love you better than you when you allow yourself the chance to truly live again. Don't let time pass meaninglessly, because each day you're still here is a day you can fill with something that warms the heart and softens the memories. The greatest loneliness isn't about having no one beside you. It's when you lose the desire to keep going. But if you can light even the smallest spark, a new habit, a gentle beginning, You'll see the days no longer feel so heavy. Losing a life partner is a loss beyond measure. No matter how time passes or how routines change, that empty space remains, quiet yet profoundly deep. But life does not end with what we've lost. It continues, not rushing, not demanding, but gently offering us a chance to live fully once more, even if it's just us now. Accepting the pain, taking charge of our finances, caring for our health, opening up to others, and building new habits. These are not just 5 things to do. They are 5 ways to face the grief, to heal, and to move forward. No one can replace the one who's gone, but we can choose to keep living for them, for ourselves, and for those who still love us. Believe this, even without someone beside you, life can still be gentle if you are brave enough to open your heart again.